Welcome to Parnell Park for this Dublin Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final between Fianna and Faughs. It is the first knockout round of the championship, and both of these teams are hoping to be the first through to the semi-finals. The first of two quarter-finals today. Of course, we've got two more tomorrow. A little bit later on, it's Vincent's against Ballyboden, St. Enda as the defending champions. But right now, as we say, it is Fianna and Faughs. We'll take a look at the teams in just a minute or two. But a man who knows both of these teams very, very well is Whitehall, Columkill and Dublin. I was going to say fullback, Owen O'Donnell, but I should also say full forward.
I don't know, my short experience up there, I think I'll even go forwards, get me back into the backs as quick as possible.
You're too modest. You got a wonderful goal in that last game against St. Jude's. You were unlucky not to go through. Let's take a look at the team as Fianna have named it. You think there will be changes, but the go-to guys there are Sean Curry, who can cut through defences, Donald Burke can win ball, AJ Murphy, Andrew James to give him his full title, and of course Jonathan Tracy is a decent keeper with a very decent long-range puck out.
Yeah, I'd say that would make up most of the team, but when they're playing their positions, I don't know, I'd probably see AJ Murphy go inside, Donald Burke come into the wing, keep going to the centre. Micheál Murphy is back from injury, whether he starts now, he'll be a big player in that Fianna back. Shane Barnes and Kevin Burke are the other ones you look at that you'd wonder would they do a swap. When you look at Faughs, Chris Bennett playing centre forward, so he'll need to be heavily marked. So which one of them will take the task would make an interesting battle.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Faughs team in a moment. Fianna, will they feel that they've underachieved over the last couple of years, considering the tradition of the club?
Yeah, look at the team. Like 90% of that team would have played for Dublin on the range of every single level. So when you have a team of that calibre to not put up a couple of medals and trophies, they probably would be slightly disappointed themselves. They're a relatively young team that have come good this year. They had a massive win against Coola. They've been coming off the back of that motivation.
We'll take a look at the Faughs team in just a moment, but you mentioned there that they beat Coola in the group stage. Granted, Coola were done and dusted at that stage. They'd gone through. Let's look at Faughs, and the guy who stands out really is Carlo O'Mahony. Gets a lot of scores from play and is very decent from place balls as well.
And they get the ball out in the front and trying to get the man and turn on goal. But Carlo Manny's a good free taker. Hopefully he can get himself an easy free and play himself into the game.
Well, realise you might have had a sound issue for the first minute or two there, but we will go back through what you were saying there about Fianna. Basically, a lot of young talent in that Fianna team, and you'd be very surprised to see them line out the way they have been named for Faughs. Well, there'll be a lot of eyes on Carlo O'Mahony, but who else should we look at? You mentioned Chris Bennett as an example.
Yeah, Chris Bennett's probably been the score getter for Faughs in the championship so far. He got a last minute goal against Jude's to get the draw, and he was quite decent against us as well. I think he got 3 from play. I was marking him that day as well, so it definitely was 3 from play, unfortunately.
Were you a back or a forward?
I was a back that day.
Oh,
so
okay, well that's understandable. If you're a forward who concedes 3 from play off your marker, then you're in trouble. And if you haven't seen Owen's goal against St. Jude's, it is worth checking out. Well, already Fianna have made a change, so they have thrown a bit of a surprise in there. Matthew Oliver is starting. I'm not quite sure who hasn't started. Our referee, by the way, is Paul Fawn, and it is Fianna against Faughs in the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final. We're delighted to have you with us. We're sorry you can't be here. Even less of you allowed in the ground than there was in the last series of matches. We can debate all day whether or not that's right or wrong, but at least we still have matches on, and that is an important thing. Let's try and hang on to that at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is great to be able to see the games in some shape or form.
Oh, that's a great catch inside, and an equally good pass to Sean Murray. Sean Curry tries to pop it over, and he does. Good score for Sean Curry. Less than a minute gone, and Fianna showing their intentions. Long ball won and popped off to the runner, who looped around beautifully.
And Donald Burke picking up his form from the Coola game. He did an exceptional match that day, and he'd be looking to continue that now.
He's a man who'll just put the love in the air all day and pass it off. He doesn't necessarily even have to make wood contact with Slitter to have a good game, because he can pass, he can win ball, he can pop off those hand passes.
Yeah, he's an incredibly skillful player, and the hurling he has is just unbelievable. So if Fianna can keep targeting him like that, it'll pay dividend.
Chris Bennett going after it there for Faughs in the changed jerseys today, and a fetching jersey as well. I have to say I like that Fianna jersey as well. Sean Murphy goes with the diagonal. AJ Murphy going in after it. Good defending. Fullback policing there. That's Emmett McKenna. And McKenna slots it away. This is good work from Faughs out of defence. McVeigh. That's going to be a tough one. and trying to win it was Kieran Brennan, but he couldn't do so, and Paul O'D is on it for Fianna. Sean Murphy, when you have white boots, you have to play well. Well, he's hit that one wide.
And it's the same kind of style Faughs played against us. They try to work the ball out of the backs with a running game and then deliver into their forwards. Like if you look, maybe you'll see in a few minutes, the space in front of the Faughs full forward line is a lot, and they've quick, nippy players in there. So Faughs will be looking to get the ball in from midfield.
A draw against St Jude's, a defeat to you guys, Whitehall, and then a win against St Bridget's. And look, I know people will say Bridget's had already got their work done, but they would have been going out to win that game. So for Faughs to win that game in an unexpected way, that's much to their credit. They're a serious outfit.
Absolutely, and Faughs can only beat what you put in front of them. So for Faughs to come out of that game is a huge achievement for them, and they'll be looking to take confidence from it.
Gleeson is frustrated with his puck out. It's intercepted by Donald Burke, who'll roam around under the ball. Off it goes to Matthew Oliver. Oliver slaloming through beautifully. Here's Curry. Curry, eyes up and going for it. That looks, I thought it looked on target, and the umpires agree. Curry with 2 in a row, and Fianna leading by 2 points to no score.
Fianna have had a lot of success from Sean Curry this year. He plays as corner forward, but comes dropping deep. He plays around the half forward line, midfield, and tries to pick up loose balls exactly like that. And when he gets the ball with space like that, he's going to be clinical.
First and last time I asked this, Owen, is it frustrating to not be out there today, to not be part of quarter-final weekend, given how close he came, literally the puck of a ball?
Yeah, it'd be frustrating, alright, and considering we made the quarter-finals last year, not to make progress with the club is frustrating, but just have to go again next year. It's been an unusual year.
Progress was being made by Barrett. He's still not gone there. He's still fighting for it, but it's picked up by Jack McVeigh, who gets it away, but it's not a convincing clearance. However, his teammate helps him out and then gives it to Conor O'Shea, who's got a strong Tipperary/Galway connection. Long ball down the line, comes to Shane Doherty, comes into the path now of David Croke. Fianna hunting in packs, but Croke finds a way through. Doesn't make the connection he wants. Swept up by Kevin Burke. Burke targeting Owen McHugh and finding Owen McHugh. Just pops out of his arm, or out of his hand. We have to say that a shower of rain came just before the match, and it is the most unideal time for rain to fall from a hurler's point of view, isn't it?
And it's still drizzling out there, so things are slippy, and both teams just getting to know each other. So I say it'll take a few minutes for things to settle down and for both teams to get into the game.
Murphy carried it into contact from Conor O'Shea. It's swept up by Nagel. Now onto it is Joe Kenny. Kenny trying to get past Paul O'D. This is a good run by Brennan. Oh, I think he caught it twice on the way through, and it's a free out to Fianna. Faughs just can't get the shots away, can they?
Faughs play a difficult running game, and in conditions like this, with the slippy pitch, it's going to be hard to come off. Like I said already, the Faughs have a lot of space inside in their full forward line. Maybe they might be better hitting the ball in and seeing if they can get their Carlo Manny and key men like that on the ball.
So it's a long ranger, which Curry will strike. There's no real wind, so he should be able to get the distance, but he can't get the accuracy.
Sean's a good free taker. That's a tough first free, so he'll be able to put that from his head and hopefully get a closer in one to get his confidence up.
The rain is even heavier now. Faughs try and work it through, but Quilty is in the way. Really good work by the wing back. It's 2-on-3 in favour of Faughs, and there's a push, and it's a free out. Well, you can see that Michael Murphy has dropped into the forward line. He's limping away there, maybe trying to get some sympathy for the referee, but he's the one who pushed, and he didn't do it in a subtle way either. Emmett McKenna intercepted by Quilty. Lovely step inside by Quilty. Falls kindly for AJ Murphy. Has a look up at the posts, has a go. I know he was at a tight angle, I know he was kind of running away from goal, but a player of his quality will be disappointed to have missed that shot.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. I think the conditions probably aren't helping. It's raining fairly heavy out there, but AJ time and space there probably should have set himself a bit more.
Already 3 wides for Fianna.
They're playing well though. They're playing with 2 men inside, and Sean Curry is out playing that sweep and roll. But they're having success hitting the ball in so far, so hopefully they can keep doing that.
Falls into the path of Baxter. Lovely slotted pass from Baxter. Donald Burke. Burke has options ahead, but he goes for the point himself. And that's why, because he absolutely nailed it. What a score from Donald Burke, living up to the billing that you gave him.
Yeah, and that's a good battle between him and Conor O'Shea there. I know Conor O'Shea is from Tip, but he makes up the spine of that Faughs team for the last couple of years. Was very effective against us in the round robin games, and hopefully he can settle the ship down there for them, because he is a big leader.
A massive leader. Croke can't pick it up now, trying to have a go as Doherty. Fianna win primary possession again, and it's Quilty. Back to sweep up as Kenny. But actually it's won by Murphy, who looked to me like he was fouled. Referee says play on. Here's McKenna.
It's good full back play. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
You would say that. Pulled on there by Brady. You don't see that too often, do you, in senior hurling? Guys just pulling on the ball like that, but it was effective. Fergal Heavey lets it inside, and there was a very obvious foul there from Fenlon. Even you can't defend that, Owen.
No. One thing that is clear is that Fianna are a physically bigger team. I think they've nearly bigger players in every position on the pitch, bar centre back. So Faughs taking the ball into contact like that mightn't be a good idea. They should probably try play the ball in. Do you know, like I've said it twice now, they have a lot of space in that full forward line, and they really should try and make use of it.
The first score and the necessary score. Carlo O'Mahony picking up where he left off in the group stages. Will that settle them down? Is that a big boost for them?
Yeah, it's a good free for Carlo O'Mahony to start himself right in front of goal. No free taker wants the long range free to start off.
Nagel falls to McVeigh. McVeigh is smothered, but picking it up now is Brennan. Brennan trying to get away from Murphy. Flicks it into the path of Croke. Croke trying to get away from Barrett. That's a really good run by Croke. Can he match it with a good finish? Oh, he just fumbled it. Look where Donald Burke is, inside his own 45. That's a good crossfielder to AJ Murphy. Stuck to him as Casey. Murphy gets away from him. He's on his own, he's surrounded, and he still gets his shot away. And he puts it over. Good score by AJ Murphy.
Yeah, the ball in from the Fianna has been excellent. They've put 2 or 3 balls into space there for AJ to turn and win and take his man on. So, you know, AJ will be happy with that now. He missed his last one, but scoring that one will settle his nerves.
Well, it's happened so often it can't be coincidental that they keep aiming that diagonal into AJ Murphy.
Yeah, and they're leaving space in there. Donald Burke, McHugh, Sean Murphy are all playing as deep half forwards and trying to create that space in there.
Fianna win it again. Donald Burke. Burke is so strong. He's taking on all comers. Good stick pass out to Murphy. Murphy high and wide.
You can see a few of his Fianna teammates there. Just encourage them to let the ball in instead of maybe shooting from the angle there. Work the ball into the scoring zone. But it's Donald Burke is pulling the strings out there. He's kind of dropping in around midfield and he's picking up a lot of ball.
One of the ones you spoke about with inter-county experience, Donald Burke. It's really showing out there so far. Doherty. Oliver loses his hurley. Doherty maybe had a bit more time than he realised, so he's put it over the top for O'Mahony rather than shooting. O'Mahony is a jinxy forward. Can he make the room for a shot? Has to go all the way back out to Brady. It's hard to take those kind of passes at the best of times, but the ball is wet and slippery, so it's really difficult. But folks may be overcomplicating things for themselves there. Will they be punished? Here's Owen McHugh. Didn't really set themselves before he struck it, and it sails wide. A 5th wide for Fianna.
Faughs may be unlucky not to get a free or two there. They're maybe a push in the back. But Fianna are playing a smart game that their half forwards come 10 yards short looking for the ball. If the Faughs half back line don't go with them, Fianna are able to pass the ball. If they do go with them, then it leaves the space inside. So Fianna are kind of dictating the term so far.
Well, I'm sure Johnny Greville, the Faughs manager, would just want his team to maybe get some shots away. A hurling man in a footballing county, if I can say that. Johnny Greville. Here's Donald Burke. Wow, what an outstanding long ranger.
That's an outrageous score. The ball is wet and slippy out there, and it's 70 yards, 80 yards. It's a great score.
Na Fianna so far in control. Well, I should say a hurling man in a county maybe dominated by football. Is that a fairer statement regards Johnny Greville and Westmeath?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Hopefully now this year we won't be able to say that.
Yeah, well, they've got some very decent hurlers in Westmeath. And always have had. Brendan Murtha was joy to watch. They've got a few others as well. Here comes Donald Burke again. Quilty. Quill, as they call him, makes us write another note, and the note is that he's got to score. Faughs already in trouble here, McVeigh. Brennan turning and twisting, dropping it inside. Heavey Scarper's after it, being pushed out by Kevin Burke. Heavey taking on Burke. Might fall for Nagel, just wouldn't come to him. I will say this for Faughs, they're not afraid to take on Na Fianna, are they?
No, Faughs are finding it tough. Matthew Oliver's playing very deep as a sweeper there, and he's kind of mopped up a few balls now. Faughs probably dominated a bit by the physical side of things. If they try to get their shot away earlier instead of playing it that one pass too much.
Budgie. Murphy leaves that one behind. McKenna. Sent on by Nagel to Conor O'Shea. Conor O'Shea looking for Heavey, or beg your pardon, O'Mahony. That was lovely work by Fenlon. But it's left behind, and Faughs might be able to steal in here. They've got a goal. Brilliant work from Brennan, who stole the sliotar. He pickpocketed the Na Fianna defence, and he's given his team the boost that they need.
Yeah, quality goal by Brennan. He's been playing well so far. He's been one of the key men for Faughs. He's got a few of the balls kind of deeper in the pitch, so it's good to see him up close to the goal where he can do damage.
Well, there's nothing wrong with their work rate and effort. As you say, Na Fianna probably have the edge in a physical sense, but it just goes to show if you keep at it, you will get a break. It's about whether or not you take it, and they certainly did. Burke trying to drop it over for McHugh. McHugh does take it, trying to get away from Brady. McHugh back outside, intercepted by Casey.
It'd be great for Faughs here to try to get a score now and get the 4-point play. Great goal by Brendan again. If Faughs can build on that, they can work themselves back into the game, because they really haven't kicked to life yet.
Not the score by Quilty, but it was followed by that Faughs goal. Here it is, Brennan. Lovely finish. What you don't see in that, though, is the work he showed and the cleverness he showed to steal the ball, intercepted a pass. And that's always the danger with the tippy-tappy stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I wouldn't be known for my tippy-tappy stuff now, so I'd leave them to it.
Conor O'Shea. Bennett. Bennett runs into trouble. Brennan was there to back him up, but he just couldn't take the ball. Same from Murphy. Murphy hits it to no one in particular. Conor O'Shea will sweep that up. Conor O'Shea, the free man in the Faughs defence at the moment. Brennan is the target. Brennan has to play a risky crossfielder. It was blocked by McHugh. Na Fianna win the primary possession again, but they just can't get it away. Fenlon gets the free out.
But Faughs are growing into this game. The tackling like that, they didn't do that for the first 10 minutes, and it probably cost them. But Brennan's goal has kind of ignited them a small bit, so keep that up.
Brady. Intercepted by Baxter, who's a long way from goal. Now it's Starty. Throwing his weight around with McHugh. It comes to Burke. And I think that's a 6th wide for Na Fianna.
Yeah, it was a tough while for Donald, but the quickness in which he got the strike away there was, he has such hurling ability, which is great to see, and the Fianna are really looking for him to be their target man up there.
What's being said in these huddles now? Johnny Greville is the Faughs manager and the Fianna's management. What will they be saying?
Yeah, I suppose even without looking at the scoreline, Boggs have kind of grown into it in the last 5 minutes, so they'll be looking to continue that. Nafina, probably their work rate has slipped slightly. They've let Faughs get a few turnovers, so I know that the Nafina backroom team and Owen Roach and the lads will be harping on to them about work rate, and upping the tackles. What's one of the interesting tactics of Nafina so far in the championship is that they've used Conor McHugh as a man marker. He's set in front of Conor Callan against Kula. He's man marked Colin Cronin. He's man marking Chris Bennett today, and Chris has been kind of quiet for the first 15 minutes, so he's using his athleticism and his smarts to try to make up for his lack of hurling experience that he's been with the footballers for the last couple of years.
The water breaks, having experienced them in championship games, do they break the kind of flow of a game, or what kind of effect do they have on the game?
No, I really like them. I think they're a great addition. Gives you just a minute to kind of get your bearings and address teams as a group. Definitely kind of gives a team that are struggling or trying to get momentum into the game a slight bit of an advantage that you can kind of break the other team's stride, but I'd welcome them. I think it gives you a chance to kind of restructure yourself, get the message back in, and it also lets you split the game into fours instead of twos, so you can target a 15 minutes instead of a half an hour period.
Well, Nafina no doubt are being told use the ball a bit better, or maybe the final product, use that a bit better.
Yeah, I say they're definitely targeting that right corner forward. AJ's made 3 or 4 runs into it and the ball's been played into space, and they've got dividend from that, so I say they're going to keep trying that. And the other thing they've got dividend from is that Donald Burke is dropping deep. He's kind of picking the ball up around the halfway line and then either taking his score because he's a long range shooter, or being able to play the ball into that corner like we said.
Well, it looked like Nafina were going to sail through this game. That is until the goal came from Kieran Brennan, who intercepted to win it back and rush in and put it past the goalkeeper. That was after 13 minutes. And it has set up an exciting second half of the first half, if that makes sense. And it's one of those cliches, but it's so true. Goals do lift teams, and you can see it with Faughs how much better they have been since the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's given them massive energy, and just if they can knock a couple of points more on now, they'll be in a good position going in at half time.
McVeigh. Conor O'Shea. Son of Eamon O'Shea, the former Tipperary coach, played a big part in Tips All-Ireland win last season.
Yeah, and Conor O'Shea seems to be the one to really hit the ball in. Faughs are kind of trying to play it short until they're either free or up the pitch so they can play a ball in, and that's 4 or 5 balls Conor O'Shea has hit into that far corner.
O'D from Tracy. Oliver. Back to O'D. O'D swats it into the corner. Nice turn by Michael Murphy. He has Sean Murphy outside. Sean Murphy, he just squirts it out of his own hand. And he's won. Is it a penalty or a free? It's a free.
Yeah, it's that right corner again that they're really trying to target, and Micheál Murphy would be happy with that, getting himself into the game. As far as I'm aware, this is his first game back, and he's been a very good player for Dublin at minor and under 20, so Nafina would be delighted to have him back, and hopefully if they progress he'll be a big player for them.
And the referee has actually changed his mind. It's going to be a clash ball.
I didn't see what that was for, but there is
I just heard one of the defenders out there, an Nafina defender, saying, AJ, shut your mouth. I wonder, was it something that AJ Murphy said? We might get a look at it here, or some hint here. I think it's for something said rather than something done. It looked like Michael Murphy was going to get inside. Then he slipped in Sean Murphy. And whatever happened after that. But generally with those things, it tends to be for dissent. Or maybe a stray hurley, but that is just a guess. McKenna's up and running again. Fullback losing it there, but the referee saying it was picked up off the ground by one of the Nafina players. It's a free out, and Nafina have just basically coughed up the chance of an easy score.
Yeah, and Faughs are taking their time over this and letting Nafina reset. Like straight away, Martin Quilty, Sean Curry turned their back and sprinted back into their own midfield half-back line. Faughs should be trying to play the ball quicker and get themselves into the game.
Liam Gleeson goes long. Breaks down to AJ Murphy. Very loose play by Nafina again, almost trying to be too clever. Faughs winning possession. Oliver's there to take it for Nafina, but then he loses it. This is really good play by Brennan. Brennan's in behind again. Will he go all the way again? He's got a man inside who he goes to. It's a second goal, and it's another beauty. And again, Nafina messed up, gave the ball away, and Faughs have punished them. That was an absolutely wonderful finish by Carlo Mahoney.
Yeah, and it was Brennan that set that up himself. Matthew Oliver was coming out, probably should have taken the ball first time, but Brennan's work rate, ability to flick the ball past. He's down injured at the moment, but the ability to flick the ball past, set up the goal. Carlo Mahoney made no mistakes then, but Brennan is really, really Faughs' target man at the moment.
Kieran Brennan is down. Let's hope he's okay. And Faughs, for the first time, lead in this match. And the referee's having a word with the umpires.
Yeah, I wonder, was it a sense of complacency that kind of crept in from Fianna, that they probably were favourites coming into the game, going 5 points up, 4 points up, whatever it was in the first 10 minutes? Did they kind of take their foot off the gas a small bit? Still a long time to go though.
Oliver back to Tracy, who this time will use that monster puck of a ball that he has. Batted away by McKenna at the cost of a line ball, but he dealt with it.
Yeah, them long balls, there's so much height and speed on them. They're anyone's to deal with, so better to get it out.
AJ Murphy was looking for the run of Baxter, doesn't find him. Away it goes from Doherty.
It was that run from Sean Baxter, 2 runs up the pitch against Coola to set up 2 goals, so he was trying to get luck from the same thing today.
McHugh, whose touch was heavy, otherwise he would have had a shot at goal and a free one as well. Now it's Shane Barrett. That's wide.
Yeah, I saw Barrett in the first couple of minutes, took a very heavy knock, and he's kind of been limping over the far side, so Nafina will be worried that, and trying to make sure that he's okay. He's a big player for them.
He's massive, isn't he? He's one of the promising young talents of Dublin hurling.
Oh, he is, yeah. I wouldn't even call him promising. He's so established now at this stage.
Yeah,
he really is a phenomenal
actually,
hurler.
He really is, yeah. Oh, that's lax play from Faughs, and they're going to let Nafina in here. But a heavy touch again from Sean Murphy. McVeigh.
Yeah, Michal and Sean are brothers there, so I said there'll be a bit of slagging tonight over that pass.
There might be utter silence if they don't win. Here's Conor O'Shea. Stephen Casey was roaming after it, as was Hugh Fenlon. Fenlon pops it up. Free out. Foul by Carlo Mahoney. Jonathan Tracy is coming up. I wonder, does he fancy it from here? No, he's not going to strike it now. Shane Barrett. Great take by Donald Burke. Burke is going for goal, I think. And he gets it. The keeper got a touch, but he couldn't stop it. And it just goes to show sometimes you just have to go direct.
Yeah, and that's Donald's ability just to create chances from nothing. His goal against Coola, Keane O'Callaghan had it so well stood up, and just a lovely dummy that an exceptional bit of play turns and scores. And the same there, just creates a chance where you wouldn't think there was a goal chance on.
I know I'll sound like one of those 80-year-olds who complains after watching a match and they don't like the new way of doing things or whatever, but they stopped trying to work the lines there. They just went direct, and when you can do that, it's such a great weapon to have.
Yeah, and the key there is to having the personnel up front to win the ball.
Yeah, I appreciate sometimes teams can't do it, and that's why they have to go with the tactic. Here's AJ Murphy off to Quilty. Quilty, let's fly. That's a good score. 2 in a row for Nafina. A goal followed by a point. And they're back in charge of this one. They lead by 3.
Yeah, 2 huge scores for Quilty, and I can already picture him telling the lads in detail about it now in the pub later.
He won't be allowed in. No one is. Hold on, do they serve meals? Maybe, anyway. I'm not sure. Kevin Burke loses it, and they're in again through Brennan. Brennan just had too many men to beat, but he did the smart thing. He tried to play his way through or plough his way through, and they had to foul him, and it's a free in.
Yeah, again, like we can't speak high enough of him so far. He's been really the main man, or one of the only men up front for Faughs so far, and probably needs a bit more support there. That he's probably winning primary ball and needs more runners off him.
Yellow card for Hugh Fenlon. Very easy to say it from up here, but was that a needless foul from Nafina because Brennan was completely outnumbered? It looked like he'd nowhere to go.
Yeah, the way he's been playing, I probably would have been happy enough to give a free away in that position. We just Nafina coming off the back of a good goal, give away the point and try settle themselves again.
The Faughs settled themselves again as well with that point. Shane Barrett makes his way out to wing back, dropping in as Matthew Oliver. Kevin Burke over the top row D. AJ Murphy running ahead, I beg your pardon, it's actually Michael Murphy. Foul committed by Colm Leahy, and it's a free into Nafina.
They're the kind of frees that drain a team's energy. If Nafina are going to score, make them score from play, make them work hard for their scores. To give away a free like this to a free taker like Donald Burke, it's just, you may as well let them walk in and put the ball over the bar. But just to say again, the size of some of these Nafina players out there, I don't know whether they're wearing extra small jerseys or they all have some gym over lockdown, I don't know, but they're very physically strong players.
Well, apparently it's a thing with athletes following the lockdown. A lot of them put on bulk because they had nothing else to do but home workouts with the weights that they had as Donald Burke floats it over.
I must have missed the memo on that one, I don't know.
Well, you had to rest your body. You were injured. That's not your fault. Despite the fact that the carveries were all closed, I still wasn't able to lose any weight. But then again, I'm not an athlete, so there's no surprise there. Here's Shane Barrett, who is an athlete. AJ Murphy lets it slip out of his hand, but then regathers, much to his credit. Murphy, in those turquoise boots, scoops it out. Oh, that's a big clash. Michael Murphy trying to win it. It squirts out to Stephen Casey. Intercepted by AJ Murphy again. Donald Burke. That's a wonderful score from Donald Burke.
I can't keep talking about Donald. I think he paid me before the game.
Well, you're calling what you're seeing, and that was a fantastic score. 4 points so far for Donald Burke, one of those coming from a free, and that was a long ranger. So even the free wasn't easy. Here's Jack McVeigh. Inside to Conor O'Shea. Oliver should have that, or certainly Fenlon. Tracy takes his time. Back it goes to Hugh Fenlon. That's a really, really, really poor free to give away from Hugh Fenlon. Got caught in 3 minds.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Hugh's been playing well. He's been touch tight, so he'll get that out of his head. It just sometimes when you have too many options, you can't decide between them.
As you'd expect, O'Mahony puts that over. Plays 9.
Just in the break there, I'm looking at the firepower on the Nafina bench. They have like Sean Ryan, Aaron Jessen, Colin Curry, who started every game so far and is a great free taker. So Nafina have massive firepower off the bench.
Oliver to Barrett. Barrett is, I don't think he was, well, I'm not sure if he was going for it or whether that was an intended long pass that just went a bit too far, but he's not himself today. He's still playing well enough, but you'd know he was carrying
He took
it
a very heavy knock at the start of the game, so I wonder is he just feeling the effects from that.
Yeah. Joe Kenny. Also, there weren't too many options there for him. Faughs, in fairness, had everyone covered, so maybe he felt he had to go for it. Nice turn by O'Shea. Bit too much on the stick pass. Fenlon. No mistake this time. Tries to pop it off to Owen McHugh, but it's intercepted. Chris Bennett was trying to shovel it up, but it's stolen there by Sean Curry. Curry away from Brennan. Curry still going. Flicks it over the head of Brady. He is onto it. The slip might cost. No options around him. Faughs steal it back. Conor O'Shea. AJ Murphy. AJ down the line brilliantly. There might have been a late hit on him there. Donald Burke tries to get a shot away. The referee stops it up.
That's frustrating from Faughs there, because great turnover. 3 of them were hunting in packs, turned the ball over, and then just a loose touch. Na Fianna get a free, a needless free that the ball was played already. No need to come in late, and Donald Burke again will probably slap this over. And they're the kind of turning points in the game. They're 0.2 difference when it comes to the end.
Remember this, the first of 2 today. Later on at St Vincent's against Ballyboden St Enda's. Tomorrow, Coola taking on Bridget's, and here on Dubs TV we've got Kilmacud Crokes and Lucan. That Bridget's Crokes game, or Bridget's Coola game, I beg your pardon, is going to be on TG Car. So Donald Burke eyes up the posts. The breeze is at his back. He's looking for a second score from a free in this half. He makes little of the tight angle. I'm not sure there's much more you can say about him in a positive sense, Owen.
No, what you can say is Colin Curry was probably a 95% free taker before this as well, so just shows the depth that Na Fianna have to that panel to have 2 free takers like that.
Joe Kenny swept up easily by Oliver. Paulo D screaming for it. That's a really good take. Sean Curry over is the shout at Sean Curry, so he goes for it and he gets it.
Yeah, and Na Fianna have kind of upped the gears now. Such a natural casual point there from Na Fianna. It almost looked effortless.
Probably the last strike of the half. Half-time whistle blows. Na Fianna 1-11, Faughs 2-3. What have you made of it so far, Owen?
Faughs are probably disappointed with the way they played in the first half. They've gotten 2 exceptional goals from Brennan, but they need more from that. You can't be relying on 1 or 2 bits of magic to keep you in a game. They need to be keeping the points ticking over. Once or twice, Conor O'Shea, who was a great strike at the ball, was around the middle. Thought he would have maybe passed or taken his point and tried to play it in the corner, and just that one extra pass is killing Faughs a small bit. It's not raining anymore, but the pitch is slippy and probably favours Na Fianna's more direct style of play rather than Faughs' passing game.
Na Fianna, if they can cut out the mistakes, they'll win this, won't they?
Yeah, and they're very strong. They're strong all over the position, all over the pitch, and have firepower on the bench. So Faughs probably in trouble now if they don't have a strong start to the second half.
And they need that strong start to the second half. Might it be worth their while pushing up and maybe abandoning the sweeper for a while, or do they need that? Because if they take that away, Na Fianna might just run through.
Na Fianna are kind of playing the way modern hurling has gone, is that their half forward lines are dropping deep into midfield. And the problem is if the half back line of Faughs follow them, that leaves a massive space in front of the full forward line of Na Fianna, who are very effective and quick. So it's kind of catch-22. If you let Na Fianna's half forward line push up, they've scores like Donald Burke from long range. If you don't push up, or if you do push up, then you've lads like Micheál Murphy and AJ running amok inside. So Faughs probably what they have to do is sit on their half back line, get the Faughs midfield to drop, cover the half forwards, get the Faughs half forwards to drop that small bit more, and try to take advantage of the space in their own half forward, full forward line then. Because they have lads like Kieran Brennan's playing very well, Carlo Manny's clinical once he gets in front of goal. It's just getting into them positions.
Okay, well, Na Fianna in charge at the break. Granted, Faughs stayed in it, didn't they, with Kieran Brennan and Carlo Mahoney both getting goals, important goals as well, or Chris Bennett, I beg your pardon. No, it wasn't Mahoney and Brennan, I'm confusing myself here, but they will pounce if Na Fianna make any more mistakes, but they'll want to kind of create a bit more themselves, Faughs. They won't want to just rely on Na Fianna mistakes, and we know they can create because we've seen them do it against Bridget's and Jude's, and of course they played yourselves, they didn't win, but I'm sure they had their moments in that match.
Yeah, both Faughs goals, Na Fianna will be disappointed. 2 poor turnovers. Matthew Oliver's out in front, and a player of his quality should be winning that ball first time, and then the first goal was another turnover over the far side of the pitch. So Faughs probably would be worried that they're not setting up their own scores. A return of 3 points in a half of hurling is quite a poor result, and I think 2 of them were from free. So Na Fianna probably halving up with their defensive display. Like Kevin Burke, a full back, probably hasn't been tested a massive amount yet. Paul O'D has got the better of his man. Martin Quilty's got 2 points himself, so Faughs need a lot of work for an uphill start here.
Okay, well, we'll be back for the second half, so stay with us at the break in the first of this weekend's Dublin Senior A Hurling Championship quarterfinals. It is as you would expect it to be, but that's not to say that's how it will finish, because Faughs can cause shocks. We've seen that already in this championship. At half time, it's Fianna 111, Faughs 2-3. Welcome back to Parnell Park. We see that Faughs have made a change. Jake Moore has come in, and we'll try and see if we can spot other changes. At the break, Fianna leading by 111. That's 14 points against the Faughs 2-3. That's 9 points. And Fianna will look to pick up where they left off. There's Fianna, by the way, in the, are we saying royal blue? I'm not sure, but Martin Quilty is taking it forward into the path of Murphy. AJ Murphy, outside it goes. Here's Sean Curry. And here is an opening score for Fianna in the second half.
Yeah, not the start Faughs would have been looking for there. I see Sean Ryan has come in the Fianna full forward line. He's standing on the edge of the square. I'm trying to see who's gone off. Sean Murphy, I think, has gone off half time.
Liam Gleeson went long. AJ Murphy again for Fianna. Again, a bit of a heavy touch. and then he just lost it again. The conditions are difficult. We had a shower of rain before the game. We obviously had rain before that today as well, and it's just made things a bit slippery. Sean Ryan, as you mentioned, is in there, a bit of a Peter Duggan type, long and gangly, and here's Sean Curry. Curry inside, flicks it into the path of Michael Murphy, and it's a goal for Na Fianna. What a beautifully worked goal.
Yeah, the vision from Sean Curry to pass that there was excellently set up.
All about Sean Ryan and how he won the ball and made it stick then. Curry took it up, flicked it inside for Murphy. Beautiful, wristy hurling, and a nice finish from Murphy. I think Liam Gleeson wouldn't have been too pleased with the first goal that he conceded. Nothing he could do about the second. And all of a sudden, Na Fianna are back in charge. Here's David Croke. They need something. Comes off the post, and there's no one there to attack it, but the free was coming, the advantage was coming anyway.
I didn't see what the free was for, but David Croke looks to be in a bit of bother. A yellow card for Paul O'D, wouldn't be like him.
As you say with this Na Fianna team, the bulk of them have played for Dublin at some stage. Some of them senior, but most of them minor and under 21. So there's a lot of talent out there. David Croke receiving some treatment on the arm. This the goal again. Carlo Mahoney. His team needed that. Conor Kelly is also in for Na Fianna. In at corner forward at the moment. Donald Burke lost it. But now it's Baxter. Or I beg your pardon, it was Na Fianna who took it up. Sean Ryan hunting for it again. Conor O'Shea. Murphy just will not let him strike that freely. Ryan also in there as well, towering over Stephen Casey. Barrett, who kind of started the whole thing. Barrett into the path of Quilty. Quilty can go for goal here. Oh, what a wonderful finish.
Great goal. That's 1-2 for Quilty now. I think it was Paul O'D that set up the pass there. It was great vision for him to see the crossfield. But Martin Quilty's been making that run up and down the pitch all day.
Sean Ryan battling for it. He's already made his presence felt. It was Paul O'D, I beg your pardon, rather than Barrett. And it was Quilty who just smashed it home. Nagel. Shot from an angle. Drifts wide. You can see it already, Faughs shooting from positions they wouldn't have shot from in the first half. They need scores and lots of them. Here's Oliver. Kevin Burke. AJ Murphy tries to turn on it, but it falls into the path of Nagel. He's lost it. AJ trying to get there again. Now it's David Croke, who's recovered from his knock. Bennett couldn't hang on to it. They haven't been able to work Bennett into the game, have they? And he's a big, big player for Faughs.
No, Conor McHugh's been sitting on him everywhere he goes. Chris probably is more of a fan of the 10-yard ball out in front rather than the high ball coming in. So Na Fianna very limited the ball that has gone into Bennett. No, I was thinking maybe at half-time they might put him into the corner or put him into full and try something different, because 30 minutes of hurling have gone there and one of their key players hasn't been in the game. They need to try something different.
We'll scramble on for it there, trying to pick it up as Paul O'D. Comes now to Nagel, loses it. Stuck to him was Kevin Burke. Pops out to Brennan. Brennan taking them on. Brennan shooting. Brennan scoring.
Yeah, great score. The strength just to shrug off his man and still the composure to score. It's been a one-man army up there so far.
Quilty, who got that wonderful goal. Great catch by Burke, taking on Casey. Bit of a mismatch in size, but Casey makes little of that. Wonderful corner back play. Michael Murphy. Murphy pushed into the corner. Can't do much with it.
That's good by Faughs now. It was good defending. Good turnover from Casey, and then to push Hall Murphy over the sideline. The Faughs probably have strayed from their usual style of play. When we played Faughs in the group stages, they had half-backs, midfielders running off the shoulder all the time. We couldn't keep track of where the runners were coming from, but today they're kind of lethargic and can't seem to get the energy together.
Well, Fianna aren't letting them play as well. They're kind of physically dominating them. It's tough. They probably just wouldn't have the amount of ball that they would have had against you guys, or against Jude's, or against Bridget's. Barrett, it's intercepted. It's Shane Doherty. It's wide. Paulo D. Inside to Baxter. Baxter to McHugh. Quilty. AJ Murphy makes the run. He's taken down. Bit of a high tackle there from McVeigh.
Yeah, it was a high tackle, but probably was unlucky that Quilty kind of just bent over a small bit and caught him high. The movement from the Fianna forwards is excellent. The only consistent so far in the whole game has been Micheál Murphy inside. Other than that, Owen McHugh, AJ, Donald Burke, they've all been roaming everywhere, and even Martin Quilty has spent more time in the forwards in the back, so very hard for a team to try come to grips to that.
As you would expect, Donald Burke nails it. Nine between them. Can Faughs play their way back in? We know they won't give up. The spirit that got them here is the spirit that they need to show to get themselves out of trouble. The referee's going to have to throw this one in. Those are really draining moments in a game, those scrambles and shuffles and
yeah,
battles for
absolutely.
possession.
Yeah,
They really take it out of you, don't they?
There's very few trainings that can prepare yourself for that match fitness. You just need games under your belt.
Sean Ryan can't get the ball into his hand, but he hasn't given up on it. He's made it stick down there. Here's Sean Curry trying to get it up. He can't. Great work there from Kieran Brady. But again, they can't find a finish. A second wide of the second half for Faughs. They've also struck the woodwork. This Donald Burke yet again coming up trumps for Fianna. Or as we might have to say in a couple of months' time, coming up Bidens for Fianna. Did you get it? That was a political joke going.
I got it, alright. I thought no comment was better.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think I'll leave the satire to others who are capable of actually doing it.
Nasty cut there on Owen McHugh. I think he's going to have to come off as a blood sub.
And this is where Fianna are strong. They've got a strong bench. They've already used it, in fact. Fianna a bit lax at the back, trying to pounce is David Croke. Croke almost gets it, just wouldn't quite fall into his hand. Conor McHugh now there for Fianna. He loses it. Everyone loses it for a second. Croke one-handed pulls on it, but it just won't come from it. It's trickling towards that line. That's really good work by Heavey, who wins the line ball. It is much to Faughs' credit that they just have not given up on this one, nor will they. Heavey gets good lift on that. Intercepted at the back post. AJ Murphy wants it and gets it. There's an awful lot of space for him to run into. Sean Ryan is the target, and it comes to Ryan. Then he's able to get it out to Kieran Murphy. Here's Donald Burke. That's lovely from Burke.
Yeah, he's such a natural strike at the ball. He almost looks like he's falling over, but still the composure to strike the ball 40, 50 yards over the bar.
Joe Kenny. Chasing after that one is Connor Kelly. Back to Jonathan Tracy. And out to Oliver. Into the hand of Kevin Burke. Sean Ryan again. Finds its way to Donald Burke. And Donald Burke makes it 2 in a row.
Sean Ryan doing well since he came in. That's the third score that's come off just a ball coming in. Sean breaking the ball and standing over and using his strength and someone coming off him.
An impressive day for Donald Burke, who's on 1-7. Here's Heavey. Heavey is taken down. It's a clever foul, but he's still going. Well, he knew the free was coming, so he went for goal. And I think even at this stage, despite the fact that there's still 18 minutes to go, Faughs really have to go for goal from this effort.
Yeah, professional foul by Matthew Oliver, probably the smart thing to do. Maybe not the right thing to do, but the smart thing to do. I just saw some bit of commotion after. I wondered if someone lash out. Faughs would be stupid now to give up this free to a throw ball.
Yellow card for Matthew Oliver.
Yeah, he's thrown it in. Possible chance, goal chance or point for Faughs gone a begging, and lucky to get this free now.
It was a silly opportunity to give up for Faughs. They had the free in front of goal. Referee Paul Faughs. Carlo Mahoney. Even at this tight an angle, will he go for it or will he just pop it over?
Oh, I'd say he'd go for a point now, the way he's standing over the ball.
Yeah, takes his score. Probably the wise choice, but they do need goals. Fianna by 12 and looking good for a semi-final spot. Tracy. Connor Kelly. Shane Barrett. Donald Burke. Good marking by Joe Kenny. Still the Fianna there though. Here's Donald Burke again. This time he doesn't find the target. Well, the water break coming in a few seconds. I think both teams will be glad of it. In fact, the referee is going to do it now. Look, it's very difficult to see Faughs coming back into this game, but what do you say if you're their coaching setup and you're talking to your team right now?
I'd say they had a plan coming into the game. They have a style of play which is a running style that they try to get men off the shoulder. They work it short until they get to half forward, midfield, try to play the ball into the corner. They haven't stuck to that style of play all day, so I'd say the managers are just trying to reinstate the same message that they've been training for all year. Not sure whether they're overwhelmed by the occasion or if Fianna were probably hot favourites coming into this. I wonder did Faughs just not able to rise to the occasion, but it certainly hasn't been the Faughs team that's come out in the last few group stages. Like Bridges were in the county final last year, and for Faughs to beat them, draw with Jude's, lost very narrowly to us in a very good contest. So this isn't the Faughs that have showed up all year.
Certainly isn't for Fianna. 315 on the board, but still things maybe that they can improve on.
Yeah, definitely. There's always things to improve on, but you know, Fianna, I'd say if this was a close contest, would have upped their game by another 10-15%. They probably have slipped slightly into going through the motions just a small bit. There's still 15 minutes left. But you know, I'd say they'll bring on subs now in a few minutes and try to get some more experience into lads that haven't got game time so far.
Well, it does look like they're on their way to the semi-final. Who will join them? That's the question. You'll get one of the three remaining answers a little bit later on today. St Vincent's taking on Ballyboden and St Enda's. Then tomorrow it is St Bridget's against Coola, who of course have won AIB All-Ireland club titles in the last couple of years. No provincial club championship this year, sadly. It just couldn't be fitted into the calendar. I think everyone understands that. So it is all about the county title this year. Does that kind of simplify it maybe for the players? Does that give them an even narrower focus?
Yeah, I suppose you can't look ahead of the county final, which is a benefit. You have to play your strongest team. There's no resting players. There's no looking ahead. So, you know, it's the biggest prize the club can win at this stage. So everyone will be gunning for it.
And I think as players as well, maybe if you know that that's the limit, that's the ceiling, it does make things a little bit easier regards motivating yourself and training and working hard. And
definitely, and probably Coola and Bowden have dominated the silverware in the last couple of years in Dublin. So teams like Fianna, Ballyboden and Vincent's will look to have a good crack off them, so other teams will be looking to step up.
Well, Crokes and Lucan might fancy their chances as well. They also meet tomorrow. That game live on Dubs TV as Martin Quilty, who scored a great goal earlier in the game, gives it to Curry. Curry dazzling through, gives it to Quilty, but I think he caught it 3 times, and the referee does a little stumble himself, and in fairness to him, has a little laugh at himself as well.
Sean Curry is great feet. He's a player that showed a lot of potential underage and still showing that potential. He's a lovely sidestep on him, and looks like he's using a very small hurl, so very hard to get a tackle or a hook or block in on him.
Launched in long and over the crossbar. Carlo Mahoney gives his team a bit of a boost. It's left behind. Kevin Burke does manage to rescue it. Fianna work it out. Paul O'D was calling for it. Now it's Shane Barrett. Options inside, including Donald Burke. Kind of puts it into the path of himself, if that makes sense. Back it goes to Barrett. Free out.
He was a free, just threw up and caught it maybe, but Donald, again, just a natural instinct to create space for himself, that he didn't pick the ball first time, just kind of scooped it in the direction that would give him that extra couple of yards.
Well, it's this. At this stage, I think the Fianna fans will be thinking of the semi-finals, and the management team have been given something to think about regards selections, because a lot of guys have stood up today, the likes of Micheál Murphy, AJ Murphy, Donald Burke. Some of those guys that we mentioned there, obviously automatic. Here's Fergal Heavey, and here's a score, and a much needed one for Faughs. Barrett shovels it out. Goes in long from Burke. Sean Ryan, the intended target. Ryan does take it. Lovely take as well. Has Donald Burke outside. Burke squeezes that one through the posts. And that was not an easy finish. I know he was close, but he was under pressure.
No, it was a good finish. Shortened the grip and put it over the bar. But Sean Ryan again, that's probably the 4th direct point from putting ball into him and either winning it or using his strengths to spill it off to some of his teammates.
Joe Kenny was aiming it for Ryan Doyle. Ryan Doyle doesn't give up on this one. Conor McHugh gets over it for Fianna. Paul O'D, who set up that Quilty goal. Back out it goes. Conor McHugh. Donald Burke, always there. Inside for Curry, just lets it slip out of his hands, and Fergal Heavey has it. He's dropped deep. Here's Brennan. Brennan wins the free. It looked like he kind of ran towards Quilty to make contact and then went down, but
yeah, smart play again. Brennan has been trying to do it all by himself, and he's had a great game, but does need help around him there.
It looks like he's going to be on the losing side, but he doesn't deserve to lose this evening. Carlo Mahoney. Guides it over. Tracy assessing the options. Baxter was left free. It just went under his hurley, and Shane Doherty's going to have a go. And that's a good score.
Yeah, there's 3 good points this quarter. Faughs have got, and if Fianna are going to make mistakes like that in this game and other game, other teams will punish them.
Well, this is the thing. If you're the manager, do you worry too much about this, or do you just put it down to the fact that they are cruising? And
I say a small part is that they're cruising. They're probably comfortable at this stage. It's hard to keep the foot on the gas, but that's what makes good teams so strong. If you look at the Dublin footballers, that they can beat teams that probably would consider not a chance, but they can go out and beat them well. Cooler were the same last year, is that they can put their foot to the throat when they need to.
In fairness to Fianna, when they really needed to do it in the group stages, they did it and have done it for the most part here today. That's casual again, but luckily for Fianna, Conor McHugh has it. However, he loses it to Heavey, and then Fianna turn it back over. Sean Curry is the aim. Curry dancing inside. Has Micheál Murphy running off the shoulder. Doesn't go to him though, and hits it wide, and Murphy kind of turns around to him as if to say, like, why didn't you give it inside?
Yeah, the point was on. He was disappointed to hit it wide, but the point was on. I think he was probably right to take the option.
Joe Kenny. McVeigh. Doyle, a lively presence since coming on. He was the aim again. Not afraid to throw his shoulder in there. O'D. O'D over the top. Ryan is the aim again. Ryan. That Dara Conan style run inside to Curry. Curry at a tight angle. Took way too much out of that and effectively threw it into the net. Free out.
One of the Fianna's strengths that we probably haven't mentioned so far is John O'Tracy in goal. All his puck outs have been exceptional so far, whether he's going long or short. He's well able to pick a pass, and he's a great platform for Fianna to have there.
AJ Murphy. It's opening up for him. He will go for it, and he does get it.
Yeah, he just had a good game. He's been lively. He's been inside. He's been on the half-forward line. He's dropped deep. He's done everything he's been asked.
Burke. Quilty. Ryan's the target. Ryan is fouled. Referee lets it go. Here's Donald Burke. Curry. Curry on the inside shoulder of McVeigh. And Fianna get the free in.
Yeah, it was smart play from Sean Curry. He probably knew he wasn't going to get through the cul-de-sac, so just flicked it around his man and took the free.
Burke already on 1-9, just waiting for Faughs to make a change. I think the Fianna also making a change. Ona Sullivan has come in, slots into the back line. And Shane Barrett has gone off, so you're right. I think he did take a knock in the first half. He soldiered on, he played well. Wasn't quite up to his usual self, but there was enough around him to see the team through.
Yeah, he did grow into it. It was a heavy knock very early in the game. It was the first or second minutes, so probably just struggled slightly with that, and the Fianna probably looking ahead now to semi-final and trying to give him a bit of a rest.
Well, Donald Burke stays on 1-9 surprisingly because he missed that. That's a good takeout in front by Croke. Croke's still going. Croke has fouled. Was that a... I thought that might have been a high challenge, but no, Paul O'D got the ball, much to his credit. Here's AJ Murphy. Quilty. Sean Curry. Stephen Casey stuck to him, but Curry does get through. Burke. He'll go for goal here and he gets it. 2-9 for Donald Burke. 3-17 for Nafina.
Yeah, it was hard to see what the tactic was of Faughs before the game, but someone like Donald Burke really needs to be man marked. You can't let him grow into a game like that. One of the big differences between Faughs and Fianna is that the ball the Fianna have been putting into their forward line has been very good. It's been all into space. It's been head high. For the type of forwards the Fianna have, once they're getting that ball, they'll punish any team.
4-17 for Nafina. 2-10 for Faughs. Micheál Murphy outside, finds its way to Paul O'D. And once again into the path of Curry. Curry's brought down by Casey.
Yeah, I'd say Faughs want this game over by now, and the Fianna are being a bit ruthless going for goal there when probably could have taken his point, and he ran at them and drew the free.
Here's Donald Burke. Will he pop it over or will he go for goal?
I'd imagine he'd pop it over.
The
way he's lining up, but I'd imagine he'd put it over.
Yeah, he puts it over. Liam Gleeson sends long. Intercepted by Conor Kelly. Sean Ryan. Even though a lot of the possession he's got hasn't been cleaned, he has added an awful lot to Nafina in the second half since coming on.
Yeah, he's making the ball stick up there. Once you can hit the ball in and it doesn't come straight back out, he can get bodies on around him then to win dirty ball.
And they have the physicality to win that dirty ball. Away it goes from Carlo Mahoney. Oliver, who's had a quiet enough second half. The Nafina backline just kind of playing their own game there. Kevin Burke, AJ Murphy, Paul O'D. O'D's going to go for this one and casually puts it right between the sticks.
It's very easy for Nafina now that they can kind of go through the motions. And Paul O'D goes up and gets his score.
Joe Kenny. Through the hand of Heavey. Donald Burke. Lots of shouts for the ball towards Donald Burke. Curry lets it beat him, runs into the path here of Kieran Murphy. Kieran Murphy sends it over. Well, the first half was quite competitive. Faughs pounced on mistakes, got a couple of goals, but in the second half it has been all Nafina. And here's O'D again. He's been one of the more dominant performers. Kevin Burke intercepted by Carlo O'Mahony. And that, unfortunately, for Faughs is wide. Four second half wides for Faughs. Not that it made too much of a difference in the end. Nafina cruised through 420 to 210. Owen, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I don't know how much value Nafina got from that. They were kind of overall winners in majority of positions there. They moved the ball well. They got a lot of good scores. 420 is a good score line to put up against any team. Small few things to work on. Maybe once or twice a bit casual in the backs. A few puck-outs went astray, and that people's touches probably weren't as good as they should be. But when you're such comfortable winners like that, mistakes can creep in. So Nafina will be looking ahead now to the semi-final. I'm sure they'll be watching the next few games with interest. And Nafina, I don't think that anyone wants to get Nafina. They're one of the favourites at the moment.
We're seeing some of the highlights of the games. The first half, as we say, Faughs stayed in it. Before we talk more about Nafina, let's just mention Faughs, because in that first half they showed exactly what they're all about.
Yeah, Faughs definitely put it up to Fianna in the first half. Probably strayed away from their style of play slightly. That maybe it was Nafina didn't let them, or Faughs had a poor day. But one thing was very evident was that they were probably a smaller team. Nafina were more physical. Didn't let them play that running style. The rain in the first half maybe didn't help them slightly, but Faughs would be disappointed how they played. But on an overall note from Faughs, it's definitely progress to draw against Jude's, beat Bridget's in the county final last year and make the quarterfinals. It's good progress from a team like Faughs, and they're definitely up and coming, and we'll hope to build on it next year.
Yeah, and those Brennan and O'Mahony goals that we've just seen there, one scored by Brennan, one made by O'Mahony, gave them a bit of hope. But in the second half, and as the game went on, this coming towards the end of the first half, Faughs they had that hope extinguished. Donald Burke with that fantastic goal there.
Yeah, I think just Nafina had too much class all over the place. Kieran Brennan for Faughs had a great game, did everything he could and tried his best. Scored a goal himself, which he got from a turnover. Got another turnover, which set up Carlo O'Mahony's goal. So he can hold his head high, but Faughs probably just needed that little bit of more firepower up front, that when the ball went in, they needed to create their own scoring chances rather than waiting on mistakes from Nafina to pounce.
Donald Burke, he was on the rampage all day, I think it's fair to say. We know that Nafina are contenders, but we don't know any more about them, I think, after today. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I don't think if you were looking at this game you'd get any great sense of what Nafina are like when they're truly tested. They had a comfortable game against Coola, which is very surprising to say, a comfortable game today. So when a team kind of tries to put them on lockdown and stop that style of play, what second option Nafina have? They went short on a lot of puck outs today. If you stepped up, they don't have the biggest half forward line except for Owen McHugh, so where they have that option to win puck outs, I don't know. So I'd say other teams will do their homework now and try to come up with something to beat them, because they probably are the team to beat at the moment. That's the team in form anyway.
Well, we've got another quarter-final coming up soon between St. Vincent's and Ballyboden. Before we get to that, let's take a look at some of these second half highlights for Nafina. That's when they really opened up, that's when they really did damage. And Sean Curry, who's not afraid to break tackles and run through and create like he did for Micheál Murphy here.
And Sean, he's just another option they have. A big man in the square is a completely different option than when they had Sean Curry and Micheál Murphy inside. So just having things like that in your locker can surprise teams.
Martin Quilty blasting that one home after a lovely setup from OD. But much to Faughs' credit, they kept working. And here's Brennan trying to roll his way through, and much to his credit, he got the score. They were just outclassed today as well. That's the other thing. There's nothing much wrong with Faughs. They were just beaten by a very good team and a man in the shape of Donald Burke, who is in very, very good form, even though maybe there are one or two frees where he'd be disappointed to have missed. And we see the bench as well being run off by Nafina. Kieran Murphy coming in, making an impact. Sean Ryan, obviously we've talked about him coming in to make an impact. Connor Kelly did well when he came in. Matthew Oliver wasn't named to start, but in fact did. And Ryan is a really good option to have. As you said, he makes the ball stick, and we saw it there. He made it stick. They were able to get around it and get it to the shooter.
And that's probably what Faughs were missing on the other side of the pitch. there was a lot of ball going in, especially in the first half, and probably just coming out slightly too easy. If they had a target man in there that could make the ball stick, get lads in around it then, and once the ball is on the deck, it's not 50-50, but you certainly have more of a chance of winning, and anything can happen, but the ball has to stick in the first place.
Well, folks, as we look out onto the pitch, you're obviously watching the highlights, but off screen, shall we say, they're being spoken to by their management, and I'm sure they're thanking them for their effort in what has been a really unusual year. And what an effort it was by folks to get to the quarter final. Was, I won't say a bonus because it would have been a name, but certainly would have been their target, and after that anything else would have been maybe a surprise or a bonus, but they might argue with that assessment. But they came up against a juggernaut today in the shape of Fianna, and at this stage when they were popping over these scores, yes, the game was over, but it was still a sight to behold, the wristy action of AJ Murphy, who's a live wire, isn't he?
AJ had a good game, yeah. He was popping up all over the place. Probably got 2 or 3 himself, and especially in the first half was the goal from Donald Burke is just, he's such risk that he's able to get them shots away in tight spades.
Yeah, Donald Burke was quite the performer today. Paul O'D got forward as well. We saw him set up scores, but this one he took incredibly well. And Fianna, to be happy with their day's work, even though they have things to work on. But that maybe is the ideal situation going into the semi-finals for them. The manager can still give them a bit of a rollicking. So, as you can see, folks getting their goodbye speech from Johnny Greville and the management team. They've given it everything this year. They've got to the knockout stages, but that is where their year ends for Fianna. They will have at least one more day out. It will be in the semi-finals, and they'll hope another one after that. Who else will be going in to the semi-finals? Well, we'll find out a little bit more from 5:30 onwards, because that's the time of the next game. That's when it throws in, or 4:30 onwards, I beg your pardon. Sorry, I'm looking at tomorrow's games. 4:30 is the second game for that. We'll find out a little bit later regards who will go into the semi-finals this afternoon. Yep, 5:30. I was right the first time. It will be St Vincent's against Ballyboden St Hendris, and that is live here on Dubs TV. So stay with us for the afternoon. Owen is going to stay with us. Owen, thanks very much for your analysis so far. We'll talk to you again a bit later. And Fianna absolutely cruising through in the end, despite being asked some questions in the first half, but they did come up with the answers, especially in the second. Fianna 4:20, Faughs 2:10. Vincent's against Ballyboden is live at 5:30, so join us for that. We'll be back shortly.